It would ruin the economy. Billions of dollars.
Cancer is one of the richest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world, and every cancer patient is a commodity.
The huge pharmaceutical companies have everybody in their pocket, from the president on down to the senators, representatives. Everybody gets paid.
Something's terribly wrong when you treat cancer and your hair falls out and you vomit. This is truly medieval.
People in the United States and developed countries who are treated for cancer don't even die of cancer. They die of the treatment of cancer.
Many years from now, people look back at this time and wonder what kind of Neanderthals we were.
A prophet many years ago, he said, "My people perish for lack of knowledge."
You ask an oncologist what causes cancer, they say, well, we don't know. But we in integrative and alternative medicine know, because we're reversing it by getting rid of what causes it.
You can heal so-called chronic degenerative diseases, so-called incurable diseases. It's not a big problem.
We have treatments for cancer that are astounding. Even end-stage cancers are reversible.
Anybody ever tells you your body turned on you, slap them in the face and walk out. Your body will never turn on you. Your body loves you. You have 10,000 trillion cells, and they all have a job to perform, and they love performing it.
Here's a guy, you probably never heard of, Dr. Otto Warburg. Way back in 1931, this man won the Nobel Prize in Physiology. He's the guy who discovered the cause of cancer. Way back in 1931, no electron microscopes, just nothing but hard work. And even then, 1931, no one has disproven anything that he won his Nobel Prize for. Here's what he discovered. Cancer grows in oxygen-deprived acidic tissue. Every person who has cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, pick a cancer, when you test the pH of those people's body, they all have an acidic pH. Now, the flip side of that coin that won him a Nobel Prize was, disease cannot live in an alkaline body. You can't get sick in an alkaline body. Won't do it. Can't do it. Wrong environment. So if that's true, and once again, no one's disproved him yet, then let's learn what acid and alkaline have to do with our health. Now here's a pH chart. pH, you guys have all seen when lifeguards test pH in the swimming pool, little color things. Well, what the colors mean is this chart goes from 1 to 14. And what it's measuring is pH. pH stands for potential hydrogen. So how much hydrogen is there in different things that you're putting in your body will determine if it's acid or if it's alkaline. So let's look at this. The chart starts in the middle here really with a 7, which means it's neutral. It's not acid or alkaline. But it means, since I'm counting how much hydrogen there is in something, I use water, which is H2O, 2 hydrogen. So that's neutral. When I go from a 7 to a 6, that's 10 times more hydrogen, or 10 times more acidic. And then once again, 6 to a 5 is 100 times more hydrogen, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000 times. And when I get down here to the 1, that's all hydrogen. That's like those mad scientists with test tubes doing acid, and they're pouring it on metal and it's melting metal. That's hydrogen, too much hydrogen. Now when I go from a 7 to an 8, there's less hydrogen and more oxygen. And so this now goes from 10 times more alkaline or oxygen, and then 100, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. And when I get up in here, nothing in our Earth can live in a 13 or a 14. That's too alkaline. Nothing can live down here in a 1 or 2. It's too much hydrogen. Okay? So that's the chart. And everybody who has cancer of any kind, and not just cancer, they're all right in here. Everybody has a pH in the 5, 6, or lower 7 category, and those people are the ones who are getting sick. Every 60 seconds, your body's making 200 million new cells. No wonder you're so tired. 200 million every 60 seconds, okay? It's repairing the ones that are blown up, put new ones in, old ones out, new ones in. Now, in the medical Western mind, we've all been hypnotized by TV to think if I get sick, I got to go get a pill. If I'm sick, I got to get surgery. If I'm sick, I got to get a pill. But I'm not doing that. Think about this. If I have a cell and they're all dividing every day, they're all dividing, dividing. If I got a cell that has cancer, what's going to happen when that cancer cell divides into 2? Now I have 2 cancer cells, don't I? If I keep pouring acid on these cancer cells, next time those divide, I now have 4 really sick cancer cells, then 16, then 1 billion Sick, sick, sick cells. Every time the cells divide, they get sicker and sicker. Or I can change the environment. I can change the acid into alkaline. When I start pouring alkaline on it, now my sick cancerous cell divides, but now, since cancer, degenerative disease can't live in an alkaline body, that cell's not quite so bad. Then it divides again, more acid out, more alkaline in. Now it gets healthier and healthier and healthier, and pretty soon the disease is gone. It's gone. They're dead. They're out of the body. And so look at every 36 hours, my intestines make new cells. So in a matter of a couple of weeks, I get a brand new intestine. Or I can have the same old sick one just making cancer, or make new ones. What do you want, new or old? What do you think? It's as easy as drinking new water, don't you think? How about my white blood cells, 13 days. Red blood cells, 120 days. Liver cells, 500 days. So in a year and a half, I got a new liver. All the alcohol I've strained through this one can be repaired. That is really good news, I can tell you that. So I don't have to keep the same broken body, the sick body. I can keep my body repairing and mending itself as long as I keep my body in homeostasis. I don't get too acidic, because if I do, I'm in trouble. Now, drinking Kangen water can produce a dramatic effect of cellular repair, allowing the body to heal itself. That's what you need. This guy, Dr. Hiromi Shinya, figured this out, how to use that science. In 1961, he's a young doctor. His wife and 2 children were very sick. In fact, so sick his wife died. Couldn't save her life. He didn't want his kids to die. Didn't know what was going on. He's the man who then invented a way to look inside the colon without cutting you open. It's called the colonoscopy. He was able to look inside of his children's colon and found out they had this extremely acidic condition called lupus. He changed the pH. The kids lived, they're alive today, by changing the pH in the colon. Now, since that time, he's done over 300,000 colonoscopies, and currently professor of surgery. He's also chief of endoscopy at Beth Israel Medical Center in New York City. And he believes that all degenerative disease originates in the colon from eating a poor acidic diet. All degenerative disease originates in your colon. If you check into his clinic, you must agree to drink Kangen water or you're not coming in. He has 300,000 patients, not one single recurring case of cancer. Who thinks that's astounding? 300,000 to none, okay? That's huge.
Dr. Shinya has impeccable credentials. Each year, he spends 6 months in Japan and then 6 months in New York. For 45 years, he's treated kings, queens, presidents, celebrities, and thousands of other patients. He's chief of the surgical unit at Beth Israel Medical Center in New York City, and he's a clinical professor of surgery at Albert Einstein College of Medicine. He helped invent the colonoscopy, and he developed the technique for removing polyps during a colonoscopy without the need for abdominal surgery. It's actually called the Shinya method. Dr. Shinya has examined the stomachs and intestines of over 300,000 patients. He urges each of his patients to drink this special Kangen water.
So now I'm going to show you the technology that makes the different waters that we showed you in the demonstration. And this is what's called the SD501, the Level Up SD501. It's the top of the line unit that we have, and it's the gold standard in our industry. So with a touch of a button, I'll show you what we do. We simply hook this up to the sink right here. As you can see, the ordinary tap water coming out of here. And by diverting the water into the machine, as you can hear, it talks to you. So right now, that quick, we're making the water. I'm going to shut it off just so we can hear. So as you can hear, 8.5 pH, so that's the alkaline drinking water. Kangen water, 9.0. 9.0. Kangen water, 9.5. And 9.5. So we have 3 levels of drinking water, and you can start on the 8.5 for a week or so, and that way get used to the water, because remember, the water has the ability to cleanse and detoxify the body of acid waste and heavy metals, and therefore you want to start at 8.5 for a week or so, move up to the 9.0, and then end up at the 9.5 after a few weeks to a month. The next water I'm going to show you in this green section is 7.0. It's just neutral water, and it says clean water. And it's for taking medication. So when you're taking prescription medication, you want to use this water because, remember, the microcluster molecule is much smaller. So that water is going to make the medication absorb much faster or be twice as strong. So when you're taking medication, just use this water. And about 30 to 45 minutes later, you can go back to using the regular Kangen water. Now, when you're taking your nutritional products or natural products or green drinks, you definitely want to use the Kangen water because you want those to work much better, right? So you want those to be twice as strong and absorb much better. The next water.
Beauty water.
Beauty water. So everybody wants to look more beautiful, right? So you never have to buy toners again because this water will rival your best toners that you buy in your department stores, $20, $30, $40 a bottle, $50 a bottle, because we simply change the pH of this water to about 5.5, and that's exactly what toners are because it acts as an astringent to tighten, tone, and soften your skin. The next two waters.
Strong acidic water.
Strong acidic water. This is a water that's about 2.5 pH. And this water is very acidic. And how we make this water? By adding a salt solution that's being added to the tank as it's being electrically charged, the water. And that's how you make the strong acid water. And the benefit of that water is that water you use for sterilizing, for disinfecting. It will kill 99.9% of all bacteria within about 30 to 60 seconds. In hospitals in Japan, they use it for bed sores, cuts, burns, for skin problem, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, any type of dry skin problem and infection, you know, something that might cause infection on the skin, use this water for. Matter of fact, I cut my thumb, stuck a knife through it, used that water, and it stopped bleeding right away. I never even had to go to the hospital, and it healed great. So many uses of that water. So when you're making this strong acid water, coming out here is the strong alkaline water because we're separating the water. We have the strong acid water coming out this hose down here, the strong alkaline water coming out this hose, because remember that pH scale of 14? We're always splitting that. So if we're making 2.5, subtract that from 14, and that's what's coming out here is the 11.5 that we use for cleaning. All right? So those are the different waters that we make. So let me talk a little bit about the technology, and so you understand why this is the gold standard and why everybody compares themselves to Enagic. Because what's happening first, the water's first going through a double carbon antibacterial filter where it's filtering the water first. Then it's going through inside of here what we call the engine of this machine. I'm going to show you something that nobody else shows you, especially these other machines, the so-called competition on the market today. Right back here is what is the engine, and this is 7 large platinum-coated medical-grade titanium plates. And the water's passing through these plates, and it's being electrically charged with 230 watts of power. So the two most important parts of ionization are the size, surface area, and quality of these plates, and the electrical current that's happening to the water as it passes through the plates. So remember that, two most important qualities when you are looking at an ionizer. The next thing I'm going to show you, well, let's compare a few too. I'm just going to do this because they're never going to show you this. Some of the machines on the market today, the so-called competition, is not going to show you what the inside of their plates look like. Because look at the difference. Look at that. And they call this competition? Look how small they are, you guys. These are so cheaply made. That's why none of the ionizers can really do what this does. And that's why, I'll tell you, there's one thing. The Association of Preventive Medicine for Adult Diseases in Japan, which represents 6,500 doctors, that's why they picked Enagic as the only ionizer that they will endorse. Now I think you get to understand why you don't want to go with anybody else, and this is the golden standard. One other thing I'll show you about what makes this the golden standard is we simply spin this filter off, and we have what's called a manual cleaning cartridge. No other ionizer has this on the market. And because what happens to all ionizers are they start to build up with the inside the plates, you'll get the scaling from the calcium that's in the water. And what happens to the other ionizers, they all have a self or automatic cleaning system. None of them are good enough to completely clean the machine. So we simply spin this off, put on our cleaning cartridge, and you can actually clean this machine anytime you want. So I use mine, more commercially because I give away a lot of water. So I put a cleaning cartridge on mine once a month. They recommend you do it every 3 to 6 months. So, but the fact is, we can clean this anytime we want. That's why this will last 15 to 20 years. 5-year warranty on everything. So I think you can see based on what I showed you today, and you'll understand why this is the gold standard in the industry. So what I would do is get back to the person who gave you this video, and they'll show you how you can get started and get one of these in your home so you can change your water and change your life.
Bobby, I really want to thank you for that demonstration. It's very, very dramatic. I want more people to see it. I'm so glad I was just willing to try the water. What do you have to lose? Do yourself, your loved ones, a favor. Try the water. Just try the water. Talk to the person who gave you this video, and they'll help you get some free water. You drink it, you share it with your family and friends. Read Dr. Shinya's book. Ask your questions, see for yourself. This is Pat Boone saying thank you, Dr. Shinya. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Bobby. And thank you, Enagic.